Ted, I want the record to show last night that we've been pointing this out through the morning today. It's no lie. You did in the 8th inning when you left to beat the traffic make the comment that, hey, call me when Garvey hits the home run to win it in the bottom of the ninth.
That's what I said.
What's going to happen today?
Makes me sick.
I don't.
You can predict these things.
I don't know why, but I said, hey, I've got to do the TV, and I can't get trapped here, darn it, or I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss the television shot at 11. So I got to get back and start editing. But let me know. Call me when Garvey hits the home run. Now I go out to the parking lot. I stay in the parking lot while Lefferts has the bases loaded in the top of the ninth, and I think, whew, Lefferts got to go a screwball outside. Instead, he throws a fastball outside. Say grounds out. I say, okay, I'm going in the car. I get in the car. I'm up Mission Village Drive, and I hear Coleman say, Tony Gwynn, single to center field. I think, I'll be a son of a gun. Here comes,
yes, you are.
Here comes Biceps himself. Here comes Popeye Arms. The little Garb is coming up, and I think, nah, nah. So I started, I figured I'd tune out and listen to Casey Kasem do one of those top 40 hit shows for a while.
This is Casey Kasem. Yes.
But I listen.
Steve Garvey with his latest hit.
And you know what's interesting? I'll tell you what's an interesting shot. I'm in the car and driving back to the station, and I stop at a red light just as the home run is being hit. And I look to my right, and the car to my right, there's a guy in there, and he's laughing. And I know exactly what he's listening to. And I look around me, and it's...
Ball game. Padres have pushed 10 hits on the board, the Cubs 8. Wynn waiting with the lead. Drifting off. Smith checks him out. Pitch on the way to Garvey. Hit high to right center field. Way back. Gone! 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 The Padres win it!
I wonder if that's what he was listening to.
That's exactly what he was listening to. And I look to my right, I look to my left, and the people in both cars are smiling and laughing. And I'm thinking, now that's the proper reaction. That's fun. Smile and have a good old time.
You were telling us that Ron Say is probably pretty doggone excited about now, and especially last night, being one of his favorite players that took care of them last night.
Yeah, see, Ron Say, they keep Say in his room during the week, and they throw raw meat in, see, because they don't trust anybody to go in and try to chat with this guy. This is a somber, unfairly unhappy little snappy boy. I mean, this guy has got the personality. He would have been on Hitler's staff and fit right in. So I think that right now, based on the fact that Say has hated Garvey since they were teammates, I mean, he can't stand Garvey. And that makes sense, of course. I mean, here's a man who is industrious, hardworking, religious, a family man who loves his country, loves his teammates, who really is the genuine article. And, I mean, that obviously doesn't that sound like a guy you'd want to hate? Sure, I mean, that makes sense. If you're petty and jealous and small, then obviously he would be the kind of guy you'd absolutely can't stand. And Say hates him, and I imagine Say just stood out there at third base and just wanted to blow lunch. I mean, we're talking downtown Barb City, but Ron, hey, sorry, that's the way it turned out. Better luck today. Maybe.
Now entering the stadium in a steady stream. The parking lot, by the way, appears to still be open. Both the Friars Road and the main road entrance off of Mission Village Drive both remain open. Behind me, the Tuba Man Band from San Diego, of course, that have become famous here at the stadium for Padres games. And there's their cry. From Gate F, now back to you.
Larry and Dave with the play-by-play. Bob Chandler has the post-game interview setting up as we continue here with coverage of the San Diego Padres, National League Western champions, on KFMB. Kevin Boyle producing. We'll see you after the ball game. Right here, we shall have Padre Talk, win or lose, right afterwards. Stay tuned. Padre Baseball on KFMB is next. I'm Ted Leitner. Have a great day.
Is it the final game of the National League Championship Series? Both teams with a couple of victories. It'll be Rich Sutcliffe on the mound for the Chicago Cubs and Eric Schau going for San Diego. It is the manager's report with Dick Williams. And man, oh man, after last night's ball game, everybody has to be drained to a degree. But more than that, Dick, let's get the hospital report and talk about Kevin McReynolds. He's out of the lineup today. What's the extent of his injury?
Well, we just finally had the confirmation. Jack McKeon called his house, and he does have a fracture, a break in his wrist. He'll be out for the rest of the season, and it's a tough break for us. Bobby Brown will be playing center field today, hitting in his spot, which is right behind Terry Kennedy, the 6th spot. I am almost positive that we can get a replacement for the series. I guess we'd have to have an okay from the commissioner and also from the other team. the Detroit ball club to replace an injured person. And it's, as long as it's legit. And we'll get together. After we win this today, we'll get together and decide who our replacement will be.
I noticed Kevin, even after the slide to try to break up the double play, was in center field and playing, and so he hung on a little bit, even though that wrist was broken.
The next inning, he came in and said it was bothering him, but and Dick Dent, our trainer, came to me, and I said, well, let's see if he can hold the bat. So he went and checked. He said, yes. He said, it feels all right doing that. But when he went out again, it just got stiffer and stiffer and more painful. And he came in and he said he just couldn't do it. And if anybody could do it, he would do it. And so that's when we had to make the replacement with Luis Salazar there.
Dick, last night's ball game, I think we've all been around this business 40 years, 100 years, whatever. And, because it's fresh in our mind, has there ever been a game that was more thrilling, more exciting, or more emotional, really, if you want to get to that phase of it?
I've never been involved in one, and I've been in a few playoffs and World Series. Never been involved in one this emotional or hair-raising. The one that Reggie Jackson hit the 3 home runs in the World Series play, that must have been tremendous. I don't know how you can do any better than that. But from what I've seen, Steve Garvey did better. He drove in 5 runs, and 3 of them were with 2-out base hits for RBIs, and then the climax, it's a home run. He has not been hitting for power, as we know this year. He has gone to right field quite a bit. Well, he just went with the pitch and got a fastball, made just outstanding contact with it, and he hit a ball a long, long way to right center out of the ballpark, and that was it. It had to be one of the biggest thrills he's had in baseball, and certainly in the major leagues and in postseason play, and he's had many. I know it was my topper.
Dick, I know you went into your bullpen pretty heavy last night. 5 pitchers went to the mound, including the starter. How about today? I know Eric is going to get out there. You want 9 from him, but if you don't, where do you go after that?
Oh, I've got the fellows that are all ready to go again. Dravecki, he went a couple innings. Hawkins pitched to one man, got the double play. Lefferts, he did his job. Goose is ready to go. He only went 1 inning. We have them all ready. We have Thurman out there, plus Booker and Harris. We've got the whole contingent. Whitson could be a throw day for him. There's no holes barred. We're going to go with what we have to do and as early as we have to do, but we're very confident with Eric.
It's the manager's report with Dick Williams. Back with more. We'll talk about Rick Sutcliffe, the guy who's been tough for the Padres this year, and we'll do that right after this message. I said ball club. It's the manager's report with Dick Williams. Back with more. We'll talk about Rick Sutcliffe, the guy who's been tough for the Padres this year, and we'll do that right after this message. I said ball club. The Padres came back from 2 down to tie it. 2 spectacular wins. Last night's win with Steve Garvey's home run in the 9th inning with 1 down might be the capper in your baseball memories. Today it'll be Rick Sutcliffe on the mound for Chicago. For San Diego, Eric Schau. And Dick Williams, a lot has been made about Rick Sutcliffe. They almost say this guy is unbeatable. And yet, in the first game against the Padres, he walked 5, gave up a lot of line drives. They only got 2 hits. But it appeared to me as though Rick Sutcliffe could have been had that day, but they got so far ahead, nobody could catch him.
Well, we hit some balls hard off him. Now, again, maybe he was just making sure we swung the bat and didn't walk anybody, but he did walk a few, as you mentioned. He can be had. Our job is to contain their offense. If we can keep it close, then it's anybody's ball game. He's not overpowering. He's not awesome. He's not invincible. We've got to get a little better starting performance from our pitcher to keep us in the game, because a lot of things can change. If we get the run first, it could be a big thing for us. We've only had the lead in this series 1 time, and that was this last one, and we lost it, and then tied it, and then regained it, and lost it again, and then finally won it. So the merry-go-round, if it wants to continue, I can hang on for 1 more like that. I think the fans started this whole thing off when we returned from Chicago, being down 2 games to nothing, and that was that Wednesday night, and it just continued. And